I think in our society, the last taboo is money. I've gotten used to telling people, in 2014, I made less than minimum wage. Our taxable income was less than $23,000, and I was working like crazy. I don't remember exactly how or who told me about the Dave Ramsey Show, but the show has been great for me to, stay on the straight and narrow path. Everything in our society seems to be pitched at spending more and being okay with being in debt. I think the last recession showed many Americans how big of a lie that is. Whenever people have asked me about financial issues, I have recommended the Total Money Makeover for them, and it's a template that can be used by basically anybody, no matter what their situation is. The principles are foundational. I'm a board-certified otolaryngologist, head and neck surgeon, and what that means is I'm an ear, nose, and throat doctor. When I decided to go into solo practice in 1992, I took out an SBA loan. It was a line of credit for up to $120,000. I only used $53,000, but Bank of America basically calculated my payment as if I had taken out the full amount. We're going to be done with the loan in about a third of the time that we should be, but in the meantime, it's killing us. Well, in the end, it turned out to be a huge blessing for us because it meant that we paid off $53,000 in about 2.5 years. We were so addicted to getting out of debt that we just wanted to continue that. And so we aimed our guns at the mortgage and discharged $274,000 over the next 6 years. Health plans, they just don't pay for services that are rendered. You're basically paying thousands of dollars every month to see patients. That's not exactly a profession. And so at the end of 2014, my practice finally went under. And that was a devastating time for my family and me. It was very humiliating, actually, because when patients hear about a doctor going under, they assume that I must not be a very good doctor. I took a job on a Navajo reservation in the remote desert of New Mexico, and I was the only ear, nose, and throat doctor for 80,000 people. We obviously started to use our emergency fund to maintain our living expenses. And I said to my wife, we can't do this forever without going into debt, because there was no way I was going to go back into a life of debt again. 9 months into my time on the reservation, I was offered a job at Graybill Medical Group in Escondido, where I currently work. So I see adults and children with ear, nose, and throat problems there now. I have a wife, Patty. She and I have been married for 29 years. And then we have 3 adult children, 26, 24, and 21 years of age. No grandchildren that we know of as of yet. I was willing to do whatever it took to keep us out of debt and to maintain the principles that we had always lived by. Our kids, I think, they heard me rail on them about, keeping expenses to a minimum and trying to save money wherever we could. But when I finally closed the office and picked up and moved to the reservation, I think they thought, looks like he wasn't kidding. Up until that point, they really didn't see anything different happening in their lives. But now, with their dad 800 miles away in a tiny apartment just off the Navajo reservation, suddenly they did. The storms are going to come, but they're not going to kill you. And you will get through this. I'm happy to tell people because I think it's a valuable thing. Because we have no debt, we didn't lose our home and we didn't lose our cars. And although it was a great loss and very humiliating for me to lose my practice, I still had our home to come back to. Well, I remember growing up, my father showed me a letter that came in the mail one day. He was completely done with the mortgage. After I started my practice, I realized what kind of achievement that was and what kind of peace of mind that it brought to him. I've never asked my dad directly, what do you think about what's gone on these last years? I know he's proud of me, and that means a great deal.